Hello, I am Hannah, evolutionary astrologer, and I want to talk to you about March, the month that we're in right now, because this whole month is an eclipse portal. And eclipses happen when we have this precise alignment between our sun, our moon, and our dear planet Earth. They're precisely aligned in the sky. And eclipses are linked to our destiny. It's so much about our transformation, our growth, and really important turning points in our personal lives, but also collectively speaking, in the world. So we're going to have two important dates here, so write this down. March 14th, that's the full moon total lunar eclipse at 23 degrees of Virgo. And then 2 weeks later, we have the second eclipse, which is going to be on March 29th. That's a new moon, partial solar eclipse happening in 9 degrees of Aries. So, of course, if you have any planets around those degrees, that's going to be even more important for you, even more significant for you. And just to clarify, one really important thing is that even though eclipses happen at a very specific days and specific times, this whole month is an eclipse portal. And we're cruising through this portal during the whole month of March and actually March going into April. So what's eclipse season? That's the most important thing. What is eclipse season? Think about eclipse periods as this portal in time and space. We live in time and space. So these portals open up, and as they open up, you have many things, many energies moving through, things going in, other things going out. This is why it's considered to be a time for endings, a time for new beginnings, arrivals, departures, there's revelations, there's culminations, accelerations of things. During eclipse times, things can happen very, very fast, especially in this specific eclipse that, we have so much Pisces energy. And Pisces comes with this message of like, expect the unexpected type of thing. So, eclipse periods are times for milestones, are times when there can be really important things happening in our lives. They happen every 6 months. It's still a big event, even though it's not one of those astrological transits that is like super rare, once in a lifetime. They happen quite often, but they're very, very powerful. So every time you hear, hey, there's an eclipse season or there's an eclipse season coming up, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to, it's a time to observe. It's a time to really, have your ears perked up and your eyes wide open because everything that's happening in your life, the conversations you're having, the people that are coming in, people that are coming out, the projects, the ideas, all the circumstances in your life, it's really not random. The intuitions, the dreams, again, especially with this eclipse, we're in so much Pisces energy and waters right now. So, the intuitions, the dreams, the subtleties of life, like they become even more meaningful. And what's really happening during eclipse periods is that there is a higher consciousness here at play that's kind of running the show for us. Whatever name resonates with you, some people call it God, goddess, life, the universe, or source, or all that is, uh, whatever word connects in with your heart, that's what's running the show, and it's in constant communication with us, and it's really directing us. It's strategically positioning us where we need to be, where we need to go. So whatever's coming up in our lives, if something's coming in or something's coming out, that's not random. It's really there's a strategy taking place, even though, many, many times we don't fully understand it, or we don't fully kind of bring the pieces together until much later. But the catch is, and this is super, super important, the catch is whatever happens, even if it looks like it's something negative, not part of your plan. Maybe it's something like, oh my God, I lost my job, or the love of my life broke up with me. If it looks uncomfortable, if it looks like, ugh, that's not what I signed up for, it really truly is in our highest benefit to trust what is happening instead of resisting, instead of pushing against the current. And again, sometimes we don't fully understand what was happening and why it was happening until months later, or even years later. So, but again, the key word that is, I think the best advice for eclipse periods is to trust, and to trust that there is this higher, broader consciousness, this higher intelligence that is really helping us, guiding us, taking us where we need to go, taking us to where we need to do, or to the people we need to connect with. And if that includes the dissolution of things, dissolution of relationships or projects or even dreams or vision, again, endings, this, for whatever reason, is in your highest benefit. It's in your highest alignment. There's always this change of guard that happens during eclipse times, and it really is setting up the stage for this next 6 months of your life, and sometimes even much longer. But really setting up the stage for what's to come. So, what to do during eclipse periods? I think, it's a great time to perform any sort of ritual, any sort of ceremony to really kind of tune into these greater energies. So to bring the things that you want to bring into your life, to release old things, it's like this portal. So throw into this portal the things that you're ready to release, the things that you're ready that no longer serve you, old habits, old patterns, old ways of being. So you can burn, you can make, for example, like write it down, make a little list, and then burn it. Let the fire consume the this old this old pattern, or something that doesn't serve you anymore. Working with the violet flame, I mean, that's amazing. If you don't know what the violet flame is, Google it. It's amazing. There's meditations. It's such a powerful energy to really transmute, release, and change the vibration of anything. Um, and sometimes, like I said, sometimes it can be very big, something very big, but sometimes it's very subtle as well. So it's a new insight, it's a new realization. Sometimes it's a very internal shift that is happening. It's very behind the scenes. So these rituals and ceremonies can be really powerful. Um, the other thing is rest, recharge. Eclipse energies can be very strong and very powerful. So your body may feel the shifts. It may feel like, especially if there's a lot happening in your life, take good care of yourself, take good care of your body, eat good food, ground yourself, eat nourishing food, take baths, just anything that's going to help you feel more centered, more peaceful. Practice mindfulness. So anything that makes you feel more centered, if it's meditation, if it's your spiritual practices, but really consciously open up to receive the insights, to receive the intuitive downloads, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to the hidden message, pay attention to your subconscious. Again, with so much Pisces in the sky, like we're having now, it's the messages are coming, it's the unexpected messages coming from unexpected sources. And another really great thing to do during eclipse seasons is take notes. It's so interesting because you can then later on connect things. You go back to these dates. You're like, oh, this project started to happen right during the eclipse season, or I made this decision during the eclipse portal. I had this realization. I made this change. I met this person. So as you kind of keep this data, you can also track things in your life moving forward, especially, one really one really interesting thing is that the things that happen, the things that are seeded during eclipse seasons, for example, let's just say you met someone really special and you started a relationship during the eclipse portal, then highly likely every time there is an eclipse portal, eclipse season again, this is going to be a recurrence of your relationship. There's going to be a new activation in the relationship. So there can be, it's the initial seeding. If the initial seeding cycle is during an eclipse period, then every eclipse period there can be a shift, a change, or some sort of an activation in that particular, in this case, relationship. Um, Also notice external events. Usually eclipse bring collective shifts. So there can be, truths being revealed, shifts in power dynamics, even natural disasters. Right now with the Venus retrograde, there can be sudden shifts in the stock market, fluctuations, a lot of the financial systems going ups and downs. And, sometimes there can be big revelations, scandals. So keep an eye on what's happening. And it can feel very chaotic, but ultimately, the deepest message here, it's this push for necessary evolution for all of us, for humanity, so stay informed, but centered. So that's when we go back to our practices to really keep us at our highest alignment. And truly at the end of the day, eclipses, they push us towards our evolutionary path, our evolutionary journey. Even if it doesn't look like that's happening, it is truly happening. And just to get to the themes of this eclipse, like I said, the first one on March 14th, that's happening in at 23 degrees of Virgo. So really activating the Virgo Pisces axis. If you haven't seen my video about the nodal axis shifting into Pisces Virgo, make sure to watch that because a lot of those themes are really, truly relevant during this eclipse and relevant during the next year and a half. So Virgo Pisces is work, is employment, is service, is healing, it's health. So there can be shifts in employment, work dynamics, work colleagues. Virgo is what I can control, what's up to me. And Pisces is what is beyond me, what is fated. And then the second one is at 29 degrees of Aries. I'm sorry, 9 degrees of Aries. And Aries is about new energies, new starts, new beginnings. It's a very highly creative energy. So it's where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What patterns do you want to break? How do you want to reinvent yourself? How, what's the story? What story are you choosing for yourself in your life as you move forward? And there's many other players. I mean, this eclipse party is full. It's such a March is just one of those months where there's so much happening. We have a Saturn very close to the nodal axis. So Saturn brings a lot of the conversation about doing the right thing. Saturn is a harvest. So that's why it has to do with karmic repercussions. If there's a debt that needs to be paid, this can be a time for accountability, restoration, realignment. There can be those checks and balances, but also the great rewards. Because if Saturn represents the harvest, the question is, what have you been seeding? What have you been planting? What's in your garden type of thing. So there can be rewards. There can be um, really just, things are working and you are moving forward and things are really, you know, fruitful. But Saturn is also about leadership and governance. So a lot here about our leaders, our role models, issues of integrity. So there can be scandals, there can be, the misalignments and negligences being exposed and being and coming up to, more visibility. Neptune is also on this nodal axis, and Neptune can bring that sense of bubble bursting. Things that you thought were very strong, were very reliable, and it can be deception. It can be disillusionment. It can be, and it's beyond what we want. Pisces and Neptune is beyond what is on our agenda, what's the plan, and what the plan is and what the vision is. So there can be that sense of something bigger here is happening that is, again, putting you in places, unexpected places or unexpected um, things happening. But on the other hand, especially when you bring Venus into this equation as well, Neptune and Venus is about forgiveness, is about peace and love and harmony and reconnection and reconciliation and ultimately love. So there's a lot of this interplay here and really spiritual energy. So again, hence like why these spiritual practices are so, so, so important right now and can really help us. Um, Mercury and Venus are also retrograde during this eclipse season. There's videos on that, with more information. So check below if you're interested. Retrograde periods always bring reevaluation, revisitations, review. So it's saying take a second look at those themes. So take a second look at work, your employment. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Venus's relationships, finances, um and how we, first of all, our relationship with ourselves, our self-worth, and everything about money, finances, and how we are spending money, money spending habits, our economy, and also economic cycles, for all of us. So, again, it's such an important month. This eclipse season is super, super powerful. If you don't know and you want to know where this is happening for you specifically, so that's, in your natal chart, so where that is and what a house and what's activated, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to bring you this information. Astrology is so amazing because it really gives us just such a deeper and higher perspective and clarity in our lives in those cycles. On that note, be safe, be cautious, take good care of yourself, take good care of your body, ground yourself to your meditational practices, be, always paying attention what is going on. Keep a journal if you can, write down your dreams, write down your intuitions. These are really extra powerful during this month. And yeah, be safe, and I will see you on the other side.